For weeks, astronomers thought 3I Atlas was just another interstellar comet. Strange, unpredictable, maybe scientifically valuable, but nothing beyond what we've already seen with Oumuamua or Borisov. But then the signals began. Week at first.
On October 24th, astronomers tuned the Meerkat radio telescope for a gamble.
A strange voice from deep space, a mysterious object, has just sent out a signal.
Faint patterns hidden inside the background noise of space. At first, everyone assumed it was an instrumentation glitch, a reflection, radio interference, a coincidence. But coincidences don't repeat themselves.
The radio telescope in South Africa's Karoo Desert detected what may be the first microwave whisper from an interstellar object.
And these signals repeated. They came only when telescopes were pointed at 3I Atlas. They disappeared when the comet wasn't in view. And they didn't match anything known. Not pulsars, not spacecraft, not solar radiation, not interstellar scintillation. Instead, they looked structured, layered, intentional. Within hours, the world's space agencies were scrambling.
Yeah, the James Webb Space Telescope is such an incredible instrument. The data has just blown us away.
Not to announce anything, but to stop anyone else from noticing. Because what the signal suggested was something scientists were not ready to admit. Something on or near 3I Atlas might be emitting patterns that look suspiciously engineered.
Astronomers in Hawaii have released what's being called the most structurally revealing imagery of interstellar comet 3I Atlas. Images captured by amateur observer Kalopa stars from the dark skies of Honoka'a, Hawaii, have provided a definitive view of a rare and controversial optical phenomenon.
The strange behavior started with a narrowband spike. A clean, sharp frequency, the kind nature almost never produces. Natural signals are messy. They spread across multiple frequencies. They drift unpredictably. But this spike was razor-thin and stable, like a transmitter locking onto a channel. The first telescope to catch it dismissed it. The second one flagged it as an anomaly. The third one locked onto it and started recording. That's when everything changed. Because the spike wasn't constant. It pulsed. Short burst. Long burst. Pause. Short. Short. Long. Immediately, scientists began comparing the pattern to known forms of interference, satellites, radar, cosmic rays. But nothing matched. The timing was too precise.
So a strange voice from deep space, a mysterious object named the 3I Atlas, has just sent a signal aimed directly at planet Earth. So is it a cosmic coincidence, or is it the first whisper from something that is not from this world?
Too rhythmic. Too clean. Then came the real shock. The pulse cycle changed every time 3I Atlas brightened or dimmed. Almost as if the signal wasn't random. Almost as if it were reacting. That's when SETI researchers quietly stepped in. They requested temporary control of the receivers, rerouted archival data, and began running the pulse sequence through pattern recognition algorithms designed to detect artificial structure. The algorithms returned a 93% match for non-natural modulation. Not proof of alien intelligence, but a possibility scientists have spent their entire lives preparing for and hoping would never actually happen. Because the moment you admit a signal might be alien, every assumption about humanity's uniqueness collapses. Before releasing any data, researchers had to rule out the simplest explanation, that the signal wasn't coming from the comet at all, but from deep space behind it. A pulsar, a quasar, a background object. But when they tracked the pulse source during 3I Atlas's motion, the signal moved with it. It followed the comet like a shadow. Something associated with this interstellar object was transmitting. But what? That question turned into panic when a second frequency appeared. This one weaker, broader, but strangely harmonic with the first signal. Harmonic frequencies usually mean a shared source or a mechanical system producing multiple tones. Nature doesn't like harmonics. Technology does. More telescopes turned toward 3I Atlas. And as they did, the signals grew stronger, as if whatever was producing them noticed it was being watched. The timing matrix shifted. The bursts repeated in new sequences. Then a long silence. Then another burst, stronger than before. It felt like communication, or a test, or a warning. But scientists refused to jump to conclusions. Instead, they searched for a natural explanation, something, anything, that would let them sleep at night. Some proposed that the signals came from solar wind interacting with strange dust particles being ejected from the nucleus. But that didn't explain the tight frequency bands. Others suggested that 3I Atlas could be releasing radioactive isotopes that behave unpredictably in magnetic fields. But that didn't explain the timing structure. A few researchers wondered if the comet had metallic compounds, producing resonant emissions. But that didn't explain why the signal changed when telescopes were pointed at it. Eventually, one possibility emerged, one that terrified researchers more than the alien hypothesis. What if the signals weren't being transmitted, but reflected? What if 3I Atlas wasn't the source, but a mirror? Some interstellar objects, especially those containing unusual crystalline ices or fractal carbon structures, could theoretically reflect electromagnetic signals from distant sources. If 3I Atlas had a surface geometry unlike anything we've seen, it might be bouncing alien signals toward us, signals that were never meant for Earth. SETI's internal report described this scenario with a chilling phrase: accidental intercept. If true, 3I Atlas could be passing through a region of space where intelligent communication is common, and Earth just happened to be in the path. But even that theory didn't hold long, because the signal changed again. This time, the pulse rate synced with 3I Atlas's rotation, a slow, uneven tumbling motion scientists had already measured. The frequency climbed and dipped in perfect rhythm with the comet's spin. That meant the source was not far away. It was local, attached, embedded, or somehow locked to the comet itself. The idea that 3I Atlas could be carrying a device, a transmitter, a probe, a relic, moved from impossible to highly uncomfortable. Researchers modeled what that would look like. If the object inside the comet rotated with it, the Doppler shift in the signal would match the comet's known spin rate. And that's exactly what the signal was doing. But that raised another question. Was the object intentionally transmitting, or was it malfunctioning? A dead probe repeating old data? A broken beacon? A recording from a civilization long extinct? The data gave no answers, only more questions. Then, during one observation cycle, the pulse sequence abruptly stopped. Telescopes kept listening. Nothing. Minutes passed. Hours. Then suddenly, a new sequence burst through the noise. But this time, it wasn't rhythmic. It wasn't encoded. It was chaotic, as if whatever was transmitting had released a surge of power or suffered a fault. The amplitude spiked, 10 times stronger than before, and leveled off into a steady hum. The hum wasn't natural. It wasn't a random frequency. It was a narrow, perfect tone, the kind used in engineered communications to calibrate a transmitter. It lasted 47 seconds. Then it vanished. Astronomers were divided. Half believed they were witnessing a natural phenomenon we simply don't understand, electrical activity inside exotic ices, or a reaction between cosmic radiation and structures from another solar system. The other half believed they had just recorded the first unambiguous signs of alien technology. But the public didn't know any of this. Everything was buried behind closed doors. Agencies sanitized their press releases. Private telescope data was quietly redacted. For now, the world would remain unaware. But here's the part no one can hide. The signal changed Earth's scientific priorities overnight. Radio observatories began tracking 3I Atlas around the clock. SETI activated deep array antennas normally reserved for ultra-long baseline imaging. Even the James Webb Space Telescope adjusted its schedule, preparing infrared scans to determine whether any artificial heat signatures were hiding beneath the comet's surface. If the signals really are artificial, they could mean several things, each one more unsettling than the last. It could be a probe, an alien spacecraft long dead, drifting between stars until gravity carried it into ours. It could be a communication relay, part of an ancient network spanning the galaxy, still transmitting long after its builders disappeared. It could be a warning buoy, marking something dangerous, something Earth doesn't yet understand. It could be a recording, a message encoded in pulses, waiting for anyone advanced enough to decode it. Or it could be something alive. Some researchers propose that exotic life forms, electrical, chemical, or even crystalline, could generate electromagnetic signals under stress. If 3I Atlas contains complex organic structures, the signals could be biological. But the possibility no one wants to consider is the simplest one. The signal might not be for us. It might be about us. Because when the pulse sequence returned the next night, it did something new. It matched, precisely, the frequency of the radar ping Earth had transmitted days earlier to measure 3I Atlas's rotation. The comet responded. Not perfectly, not intelligently, but undeniably. Something associated with 3I Atlas heard us and echoed back. Whether that echo was mechanical, biological, or artificial is still unknown. But one thing is certain. The signal wasn't noise. It wasn't interference. And it wasn't a coincidence. Something out there, something carried by this interstellar visitor, reacted to humanity for the first time. The question now isn't whether the signals are real. The question is what happens when 3I Atlas gets closer, and the signals get stronger. Because if this object is more than a comet, then the universe just sent us a message, and we're only beginning to understand what it means.